Alright, so I'm trying to budget my time. I want to break this up, but I want to make sure that my message is conveyed. And if it goes over your head, hopefully it will resonate in the intended time. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that thing called emotional abuse. See, if you look at society now, and you look at how morality, divinity, or really anything that is in your best interest is always looked at as bougie or blasé or has no intended worth. Why? Because it takes courage to embrace those things. It takes honesty and authenticity to obtain these things. These things cannot be just given and sustain a purpose in your life unless it comes from a true place. But just know something too. There's also something that comes from a pure place, and it's called pain. Yes, that four-letter word, pain. Some people know that is more or less that friend that doesn't go away, that all of a sudden always has a way of returning in their lives. It's as if you've been running because you know that if you don't duck and dodge, pain is going to touch you. What you're actually feeling is truth. What you're actually feeling is your heart trying to expand, because he's only going to let you go but so far. He's only going to let you go through but so much. And then depending on the severity or how that energy was put out, it's going to come back. That's why they call it karma. That's why they call it a generational curse. You go through those things to learn the lesson. That is why it's very important not to do a disservice to your life. Some of you are so brilliant, really. Some of you are just beautiful to the eye, stunning, have a lot to offer the world. But because within yourself you are broken, so broken, shattered, that if anyone had the ability to look within you, they would see nothing but gray. They would see shards of emotional glass. Things of falsified memories that never came to fruition, only to have life. Here's a good example of what I'm talking about. For some of you who may remember, you remember that movie, Beloved? Y'all remember that, the movie that Oprah Winfrey did? And then at the end, you got the clarity of it. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it, because that's a telltale sign or description of emotional abuse and denial. But see, society doesn't tell you to see your worth. Society wants you to go with the flow. By all means necessary. If you've got to compromise your self-respect or your self-worth to step on the next person to get to the brass ring, to do it, it's okay, without recourse. Well, you're not supposed to do that, because that's why things come back. You can't go through life thinking that you're producing bad behavior and you're going to have the outcome you think you're going to have. First of all, that's a jaded perspective. And, you know, God is not going to let you have that. That's why you have to really discern between needs and wants. And that can't be fully done until you see your worth, until you're willing to do the work. See, we know that I've come to see through my opinion, my observation, that there are a lot of little girls in grown women bodies that just want to hear their voice. They want to finally connect with spirit and mind and body so that you can finally exhale, to breathe, to feel that one. But you can't. You can't, no matter what you do. You start to say, well, hey, you know what? I know this is not in my best interest, but I'll let this one slide. Because you allow a want to compromise a need. Therefore, that pink elephant gets one more step in your life, and it's not supposed to be. But let me go back. You're saying, well, Joe, how does someone how are they first introduced to this? It starts from the child. Because a child is vulnerable. A child is pure. A child is only going to emulate its environment. So if you had a little girl that was raised by a man, and that man, all he did was bring women around, disrespect them, manipulate them, control them, abuse them in front of that child in one way, direct or indirect, what's going to happen is that child is going to think that is the right thing to do and eventually emulate that. Or worse, she's going to allow other people to do that to her because that's what she saw daddy do it, so it must be right. Or you got a little boy that he only wants to be loved by his mother, but mama ain't there. Mama is always tough on him. Now, don't get me wrong, because I know that in society, single parent households are the majority, and your intentions may be good. You want the best for your son or daughter. So you're going to try to put those seeds within them so they can walk upright. Or what your interpretation of what a man is supposed to be. But let me explain something to you, my queens. You're possessing that, you're projecting that from a nurturement perspective. That's why, and I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh, I'm not feeling this, but it's the truth. Yes, you are supposed to love your son, but it takes another man to raise him. I know some of you say, well, you know, I raised my sons, they turned out right. I guarantee you, a nickel to a dime, there's some things that are going on that you don't know about. Because there's an imbalance there, just like the right and left brain. To have harmony, you've got to use both sides. He may come off as whatever was lacking, he's going to gravitate to. So if he didn't feel like he was being loved, that's all he's going to do. He's going to become a womanizer, actually. And he's going to think that his behavior is normal because he's feeding a need that he didn't get from his childhood. Now, I'm not saying this out of mockery, because I'm not. I'm saying this out of love. So that's why you look at society now and you see so many men are failing. Why do you think that you as women don't have faith in men? I guarantee you, a nickel to a dime, the person that you were involved with had an issue with his mama. I guarantee you that. That's why when they say, If you want to know what your wife to be is going to look like, look at the mom. Because it's true. Because the parents are the first template of knowledge that that child's going to grasp on. They're going to be the first template. So if that template was not balanced, well, guess what? That child's not going to be balanced. It's not. If that child was raised in an environment where it was nothing but turmoil, a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, that child's going to embrace that. That's their first interpretation of trauma, emotional scarring. I mean, as I grew up myself, I started to understand physical abuse is very destructive, but emotional abuse, verbal abuse, leaves wounds and scars that you can't see, but you will feel it in the behavior of the person. That's why some people have an introverted or extroverted personality, because they're trying to compensate for something that they didn't have in their childhood. I'll break it down even more. Queens, I guarantee you know somebody right now that you hold dear in their life right now, but secretly you despise her because you don't like her behavior. Every time that you take her out, she embarrasses you because she runs her mouth. She carries herself very disrespectful, or worse. She doesn't respect her body. She sleeps with any man that's willing to say hello. And you're scratching your head like, why are you doing that? Why are you giving yourself out like popcorn? But yet they're the same ones that are going to run to you when they catch that STD. They're going to be the same ones that are going to run to you when they tell you, well, Johnny's beating on me. They're going to be the same ones that are going to be running to you when they tell you that, oh, that guy, he robbed me. He put me in a place of pain. I need help. If you want to be the best friend that you could ever be, I love this song. If you want to be the best friend to that person, I suggest you do this. You speak your truth. You live by that example. And you point them to get medical, or you get them counseling. Because if not, you're going to go to their funeral. That's what's going to happen. And it ain't nothing worse to be that person in the back of your mind and you're saying, this don't surprise me. Or worse, they never understood her. They didn't understand him. Deep down inside, he was a very loving guy. He only wanted to be loved. That's what he wanted. Was he reckless? Yes. Was he irresponsible? Yes. Did he have a heart? A big one. But it was those things that he lacked that is what he sought for. And that is why cemeteries have plots. And there are people there that should not have been there for that word, love. So be the best friend that you truly, if you truly love that person, guide them to get help. Do it unjudgingly. Because if not, you might as well go ahead and pick that suit out. Pick that dress out. Because what you're going to bear witness is the unraveling of their lives. And the worst thing that you want to do is stand by and watch them go through an abusive situation when you know in your spirit that that person that they have aligned themselves with is only out to destroy them. Don't do that. Because that's something that you're going to have to live with, and it will never go away. That is why I tell everyone, have courage and speak your truth. Speak your truth. Don't you realize? I'm going to keep saying it. What is found in your heart will be your reality. If you want to have the house, if you want to have the life intended, you got to clear that. You got to clear that. You got to break those rough edges that are found in there, that was made by contempt, vindictiveness, manipulation, and control. Don't you realize a person that has a controlling behavior has no control in their lives? Hello? Come on, queens. My kings. If you know your self-worth, why do you follow everybody? Why won't you do your own thing? That's what a leader's about. But my queens, you go with the status. Here's the ironic part. Let me get up here. If some of you really were able, and I had to understand this, it took me a long time. See, you'll never be able to see how other people see you. If there was a way that there was a camera that could record just a week of what you do, and you were able to review it, I guarantee you there would be a lot of, I can't, but we don't have that power unless it's recorded, unless it's spoken. And then you got to check the source. I'm like this. I'd rather be that cat that somebody hate me and I say they life than be your friend and smile in your face and watch you die. Then why was I in your life? And see, that's why I go with this right here. God gonna bring people in your life too tight. The taskmasters. The taskmasters are going to test your mind. They're going to attack your body, and they're going to test your spirit. And then you got the good ones. They're going to look at you for who you are. But their position is in love. And they're going to speak their truth with compassion. But since you got free will, you do what you do. Like I tell you, my queens, close your legs. Because the condom guy got a condom don't mean he got that package. Because I'll tell you what, Christmas time come, there are going to be people opening packages that ain't going to be under the tree. Don't be one of them. Love yourself. That's why I keep telling y'all, stop looking for men. Let God bring them. Love me some James Brown. Because guess what? You're a queen. And you're a king. And every time you take it upon yourself to go out there and search for Mr. Right Now, because that's all you're going to get, you just undermined yourself before you took your first word. Stop doing that. I don't care if that person, got the gift of gab, got a knot in their pocket like the mumps. They're going to use whatever they got to get what they want. Notice I said want. But guess what? They're not going to stick around. They're not. They're in the business of corrupting you. That's why it's called like-mindedness. You get it? So, if your boy's running around sticking everything that moves, 9 times out of 10 you're doing the same thing. And I can flip it with the women. If you turn around trying to play that good girl role, but we all know you the flavor of the month, I guarantee your circle the same way. Why? Because if they weren't, they wouldn't mess with you. And misery loves company. See your worth, queens. See your worth. You deserve to be happy. You deserve the love. You deserve the compassion. And you deserve to have the life you need. So love me some JB. So you got to stop playing with yourself. Stop taking this position of, nah, it's not me. It's y'all. Well, guess what? If it was y'all, why are you feeling the pain? Why are you doing time in your mind? You trying to run from yourself. Well, guess what? You'll keep running until you get those bags get too heavy. And you know what happens when those emotional bags get too heavy? You will have a nervous breakdown. And you will act out in rebellion that could 9 times out of 10 alter your life direction, if not end it. Don't do a disservice to your life. Alright, I'm going to do the next video, how you know if someone's been through emotional abuse. Some of you don't even know that you may be dealing with a narcissist in your midst. Don't even know it. But you feel it though. You ain't crazy. God's going to speak to you here. But right up in here, He's going to give you some get right. Because guess what? God always sends the intended in the 11th hour. Come on now. I know you feeling what I'm saying. Alright. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth because I know mine. Till the next one, y'all. Be blessed.